Bungie. Man, we got some marathon news to talk about. What's going on, you guys? Gaming out here, coming at you with another video. Marathon. You guys know how I feel about this game. I don't hate the game, but I do put partial blame on what's happened to Destiny with Marathon. I feel like Bungie, which is mainly Bungie's fault, put all of their eggs into one basket, Marathon. And, you know, they kind of stopped the flow of money going into Destiny. They diverted to go through Marathon. And to me, I understand, you know, you want to focus on another IP. I get it, but at the same time, got to be real what brings in the money. And that was Destiny. And I feel like a lot of the reasons that Destiny's in the situations it's in now is because they stopped giving that money and that talent to Destiny and diverted it to Marathon. Marathon has had a whole sense of issues. The amount of issues that Marathon has is simply insane. And I think you guys have seen it. I've made videos on it. Marathon has went through, you know, leaks and insiders saying that no one wanted to play the game. And it's clearly that happened because what seems to have happened is at the beginning, Bungie showed this game in its infancy state to a bunch of, you know, Tarkov content creators, Extraction content creators, and some Destiny content creators. And a lot of them didn't like the game. But what I will respect Marathon is Bungie didn't just say, you guys are wrong. Bungie went back to the drawing board and said, what criticism can we take fairly and what do we think we can improve in this aspect of the game? And those same creators coming out weeks to months later, to years even, depending on when they actually looked at the original builds. I don't know if they were part of like the people, you know, the people that did the very first beta. They actually came out very publicly and said, this game is night and day compared to what I played back in the day. So it went through that. Then it went through the whole fiasco on all the layoffs. Bungie has laid off a lot of people. They laid off a lot of the QA people. So there's just been so much in terms of that. There was the fiasco with the studio head that, you know, wanting to show off all his cars, and a lot of people got really, you know, emotional over that because, you know, you laying people off and you're showing off $1 million cars. I don't think it was $1 million cars, but the value of all the cars together was definitely over $1 million. So people got upset over that. And then you had the icing on the cake, which was the art scandal. Bungie has been caught multiple times too inspired by other artists and with stuff that happened with Destiny. It happened with the Taken King. There's been few incidences in Bungie's career where it looks like, and even to a point, you know, some of them, they claimed that they went and they actually talked to them and they paid them. And then you had the actual artist, I think it was the Taken King one, that was like, yo, I still haven't been paid. And it was like a year or two later. I think it was a year later. So then you had that go on, and that was pretty bad. And then the recent Marathon art scandal, where a lot of the bulk marketing for Marathon, like what the game is built on, looked like it was heavily inspired by another content creator that does a lot of art stuff for Bungie fan-wise. It was on Twitter. Got huge recognition. They probably really good right now in terms of, you know, I saw content creators from the Destiny community offer them that they're going to offer them to do their merch. I'm sure that even though it was a really big, unfortunate thing to happen, that's really bad for Bungie. It's not as necessarily as bad for the artists themselves because they got so much free publicity over what happened with the whole Marathon thing. So we were wondering, and maybe you guys can put in the comment section below, I personally did not think that they were going to cancel this. I personally, well, not cancel, but delay it. I personally thought that they were going to let this come out hot as hell, and they were going to cool the ship off when it was already wrecked. We've seen this over and over again with games as a services where the game will come out in a very infancy stage, and then they will take player feedback, they'll fix little issues, and then they'll make it a good game a year or two after launch. A lot of people don't like this practice, including myself, because you should come out with the bulk of your game at launch because you're asking for it. If you're not going to do that, then what you should do is be in the preview program. For instance, Baldur's Gate 3 was a game of the year, and that sucker was in the preview program for a good amount of time. Maybe someone could put in the comment section below how much. I don't know off the top of my head, but it was in there for a while. So then you fast forward to that. We were just wondering, what are the odds Sony allows Bungie to delay Marathon? Because they probably want the quarterly boost for that quarter. It's probably really important to them, and not to mention this game was supposed to come out in a couple months. So then we get to it. Let's go over here and let's read the actual release that Bungie said on Marathon. I have not read it. I have not read a word of this besides the big green text that says Marathon. So let's go ahead and read this. Marathon development update. Thank you not only for your passionate feedback around Marathon reveal and alpha playtest, but also your patience while we took the time to listen closely and chart our next steps. Though every comment on real-time conversation on social media and Discord, your voice has been strong and clear. We've taken this to heart, and we know we need more time to craft Marathon to the game that truly reflects your passion. After much discussion with our dev team, we have made the decision to delay the September 23rd release date. I put the date in there. See, that's like I said, this game was really soon. You're going to see this game really soon. September, that's only a couple months away. The alpha test created an opportunity to test and calibrate the focus of the game and what will make uniquely compelling under survival under pressure, mystery, and lore around every corner. Raid-like in-game challenges and Bungie genre-defining FPS combat. We're using this time to empower the team to create the intense, high-stakes experience that titles like Marathon is built around. This means opening the relationship between developer and the game's most important voices, our players. Over the next few months, we'll continue closed testing, including participants from the alpha, to deploy gameplay updates and test new features as they come online. What I really enjoy about Bungie is they are taking notes when it comes to other games in the space, where they're like, look, even though we feel like we can do this, we know that we're not the ones that's going to be making content on this. It's going to be you guys. We're not the ones that's going to be playing the game. It's going to be you guys. So I'm really liking that they are taking the approach that they're going to make this for with the community, not against the community. Because I do feel like, especially times in like the Destiny lifespan, where Bungie would get in this like mindset where it's like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. I do. Relax. And it looks like when it comes to Marathon, I don't know what the circumstances of this are. Maybe it's strictly because they feel that their backs are completely against the wall for this particular title. They're being a lot more open to hearing criticism, and they're being a lot more open to making quick changes. Because the way I've been heard it, that Marathon is a lot easier to make these changes than it is Destiny. They built Marathon on the foundation of making quick changes. So, using the survival game, more challenging and engaging AI encounters. I agree with that. More reward runs with new types of loot and dynamic events. I agree with that. Making combat more tense and strategic. I agree with that. Sometimes I felt like when I played the alpha, I played it like 2 or 3 sessions. I streamed one of them, but I always felt like it was missing something. Like, I always felt like the tension of being an extraction shooter from what I've found wasn't there. Now, keep in mind, I'm not the demographic that could give you a complete opinion on extraction shooters. It's just not me. It's just my opinion on what I played as someone from the outside looking in. Double downing on Marathon Universe. Increased visual fidelity. Yes, some of the textures look really poor in this game. More narrative and environment storytelling to discover and interact with. A darker tone that delivers on the themes of the original trilogy. Adding more social experiences, a better player experience for solos and duos, proximity chat so social stories can come to life. You'll hear from us again later this fall when we can share the progress we've made alongside the game's new release date. Thank you again for your patience and much more importantly, your passion. Your continued feedback will help us make Marathon the incredible gaming experience as we know it can be. One thing I really enjoy about this that I have to give my hats off to them is they understood that if they released the game in the state it wasn't going to be good. You know, I'm sitting here looking. Every time I felt like I turned around, Bungie was saying, well, that is after the game launch, after the game launch. Oh, this features after the game launch. That features after the game launch. What are we getting at launch? The fact that proximity chat isn't open to at the launch was crazy because that's a key point for this type of game. I do think that because of the updates and because of the changing that they're doing, I think this game has a way better shot of being successful. Sometimes that first impression's everything. And if you mess up that first impression, you can traumatically impact a game and its success in the long run. And then there's some times where it comes out bad, you can slowly fix it, but then you need the money to get there. You need the money to slowly build on that foundation, win back the gamer that was playing your game, and just win back the share mindset in general. And I don't know if they would get that type of leverage from Sony, because it does feel like Sony, Bungie is like on the verge of either going back to Destiny or being a support studio or just being shut down entirely. So I think right now the best thing they can do is do whatever is going to lead to the best results. And I think delaying the game, even if it's like 6 months, is better than it coming out where it's at now. Because I feel like just the art scandal by itself, you need to put some time between that. You need to get her art stuff out, or you need to compensate her and get rights to that content so you can keep it in. I don't know legally if they're going to do that. They might just take her stuff out. Maybe that's the reason for the delay. I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of features missing off of Marathon that needed to be in the base game when they launched and not come out 3 to 6 months later. But that's it for the video, guys. Marathon, look, I have my own problems with Bungie and how they've handled the Destiny IP. I do need to do better on separating Destiny with Marathon. I did not hate my time with Marathon, and I'm excited to give it a little bit more shot. Probably post some of that on here. Probably stream that on the Addict Arena channel. All that's in the description below. Appreciate it for coming through. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Is always appreciated. You can always sub to the channel. We make weekly content on here. We talk about games. We talk about what we're excited about. I'm going to start putting more ranks in this thing. I'm going to start putting a lot more different types of content because I want to appeal to a gaming type of audience. And I got a video that I'm thinking in the back of my head that we're going to elaborate and address some of the issues that I have with going forward with this channel. But I appreciate it for coming through. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button. You can always follow me on Twitter at LordAddictILP. You can follow my streaming channel, Addict Arena. All that's in the description below. Right now, I've been playing a variety of things. I'm playing the altars currently, which, we always switch things up over there depending on what people show up for and what people don't show up for. But I appreciate we're coming through. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace. Whew. Man, I didn't expect the Marathon. I ain't going to lie. I thought PlayStation was just going to let that come out and do what it do.